All right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. With me, Joyce Higa. This morning, we want to start talking about change makers. And joining me, I have Esther Moniki, who's the founder of Lapid Leaders Africa. I also have Jasi Mugisha, who's the co-founder of Safe Ride. Ride safe. Ride safe. Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, ladies. Happy Monday.
Thank you.
Hoping you're well.
Yeah, we will.
Good. All right, so let's talk about change makers.
Yeah.
What do you guys what comes to mind when you hear that term, change makers? Let's start with you.
All right. A change maker is a person who definitely wants change and is going to do anything it takes to see that change happen. Yeah.
Does your definition of that vary?
It does. I think the focus of a change maker is the greater good. And it's that balance of what impact do I want to see in society, and that drives the change maker. So the greater good, the social change that I want to see, that's what was going to be driving the change maker. Yeah.
The greater good.
Yeah.
Okay. So typically when we talk about change makers, a lot of times we talk about policymakers, we talk about politicians, we talk about maybe presidents. But a lot of young people, actually, there is an apathy that is growing concerning politics, concerning even voting, because we've seen that the people we've put in leadership or that are in leadership haven't necessarily been very good change makers or positive change makers. So how do we then encourage the younger generation to sort of put aside what they're seeing? Because at this point it seems like for you to make change you have to be very wealthy, you have to have a lot of connections. So how do we sort of begin to tumble down that narrative and switch it around to say, you know what, even me as an ordinary person, I can be a change maker?
I think it's the conversations that we have with young people. From my early age, we have conversations with young people around that the change makers of the world are politicians, and yet in reality the change makers of the world are actually individuals. So some of the people come to mind. There's a guy in Rwanda who started so there was a lot of accidents, and I think it's similar to what Jess is doing here. A lot of accidents were happening and people couldn't access ambulances fast enough, and so he started something called, I think, Riders Africa, and they use borders to access health. So borders are made into ambulances so that people are able to access ambulances in an easier way. That's a change maker, and it's a very young guy in Uganda. Locally, we've had guys like the Julian Rotich, who they started the Ushahidi initiatives. These are not politicians. And so I think the first point around how we make sure young people become change makers is the conversations that we have with them. This society doesn't belong to politicians. It belongs to all of us. And so the conversation of greater good and social change is the responsibility of each one of us. And I think it's just converting that conversation so that we stop waiting for people to come and save us, but ask in the space I am in. And that's a conversation you're constantly having. How can I bring about change?
All right. Well, Jasi, let's hear from you. Tell us a bit about your story. What is Ride Safe? How did you begin that? How long ago did you begin it? So do share.
Okay. So my co-founder and I are working at a health center. In Embakasi. It's called Lina Health Center. So he got this idea because we used to see lots of Buddha guys coming in accidents. You know, the blame game and all that, who knocked who, and then most of the times they never had money for their care. So we were thinking, why don't we, because we're in the health space, why don't we come up with a program or a product that would help alleviate some of the issues they're facing, but also, I mean, that's typically just a picture of what any other person would face whenever you have an accident. Getting access to quality and affordable healthcare in a convenient manner, that's like a dream in the emergency space right now. So we were just like, let's do something with these guys, with this particular group, and then see if the solution we come up with could be scaled up to other people as well. So using them as the starting point, we decided to come up with a program called Ride Safe that trains them in first aid, but at the same time seeks to develop a solution that helps make emergency care affordable, quality, and convenient. And of course, because we're a health center, we're big on partnering with other service providers to help see this happen.
Right.
So
well done to you.
Thank you.
And when did that begin?
Oh, sorry, about a year ago.
About a year ago. No problem.
Yeah.
Can you share with us, like, approximately how many people have been through that program? How many people have been trained? Or?
Okay. So we just completed the pilot, and we had about, right now we have about 650 riders who have shown interest. And we've already done a number of first aid classes with them. And but right now we are trying to see how to now bring the platform of service providers and then the riders together. So we're creating an application to just kind of make that interaction between them when services are needed seamless. But yeah, currently we're going to start doing first aid trainings among them now more frequently. Yeah, so yeah, that's where we are right now.
For these trainings?
No, sorry, I didn't say that. So it is part of the program.
Okay.
Whenever you join Ride Safe, you will be given first aid training, because and it's usually, you know, it's very basic. It's not like anything. It's not too detailed, because it has to be like just the basics that they need to know in order to save someone's life or make sure their injury is not aggravated. So yes, we are doing first aid classes.
Wow.
Yes,
so
with
they
border
kind of
guys.
just get this service pro bono.
Yes, that is the riding. I'm sorry, that is the first aid training. Then when they are onboarded on the platform, they will pay 150 shillings a month currently, and then they will be able to access now the platform that enables them to report accidents and then be able to connect with the nearest service provider to where they are.
Great.
Yes.
Good for you. And I'm curious, you know, then as change makers, how do you go from I'm seeing a problem here? I mean, because you have your own job, you have your own life, right? You're not a border rider.
No.
Exactly. Maybe you use borders, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's really not your thing. So how do you go from I'm seeing a problem over there to I need to figure out a solution to it? What is it that sort of flips in a person's mind or gets you to that point? Is it what you're talking about it being social good?
It is, and it's a mindset thing. So Mugisha was part of our program, as she was one of the initial people in the program. And one of the things that we talk about constantly is the change makers, the solvers of the problems in Africa are us. And once you have gotten that in your mind, and once you figured out that there is no one else coming, so the problem outside my door is my responsibility, the mindset changes. And so then that becomes, as soon as I see a problem, the question is, how do I go about it? Then after that, and this is something that we see a lot with young people, many people think about ideas, the kind of ideas that Mugisha thought about, but they don't go into the action part of it. But and that's also then surrounding yourself with mentors who allow you to ask the question of how do we convert this from an idea to an actual business opportunity? And if she then tells you how, for example, they've worked with a lot of mentors to get to the point where this platform is actually being recognized globally in terms of what it can do for the health industry. And it's because they've worked with a lot of mentors who help them to figure out, for example, technology. They're working with blockchain to access these border guys. That involves moving from idea to an actual action that needs a lot of sort of midwifery, which is what mentors would help a lot of people who decide to go into the social change space do. But first, the mindset has to change, because I think that's the gap that we have around change making. And it's not even just among young people, it's our citizenry. We don't have personal agency. We sort of are waiting for, we don't feel we have the power to change anything. And there are things that we can't change, but we can change through the people we vote in. But it's that perspective of, I am responsible for my society.
Absolutely. And mentorship obviously then plays a huge part in
It does.
But as we've always said, mentorship is also a two-way street. So even being able to find the right sort of mentor that would be, you know, just as interested. How was that experience for you? Because too many times people will just slide in your DM like, oh, I want you to mentor me, and so you don't know their name, you don't know anything about them. And I don't know if that's the best way. Personally, I'm not sure that's the most, you know, appropriate way to go about mentorship. But how was your experience then? Have you been able to find mentors, people that have really been able to walk with you through this journey?
Okay, of course, my very first kind of unofficial mentor is my mom, you know. and or rather, you know, through family life and my extended family, just growing up and them exemplifying to me the right values, the things that are worth pursuing in life, the things that truly matter, you know. So it kind of started there, and then going to school again, you know, your teachers encouraging you and you know, telling you that you can do more than this, and then when you come out of the university, it's like you need someone to kind of carry on what has already begun from home. And for me, that was at Lapid Leaders. When I joined in, okay, you know, there's a way, you know, like, I want to do something great, but you need a person to kind of help you flesh out what that great thing you need to do is.
So were you joining the program when you already had this idea, or did you you were already working at that point?
Yes, I was working. It was about it's about 4 years ago now. So like at Lapid, that is.
Yeah.
And so that's when the seed was planted in me, that and I was shown the possibilities and the very practical steps that I needed to take to actualize any idea that I had, or just become like a solution provider. So
you didn't even have an idea in
no,
mind
at that time, you know, it was just like just knowing that, you know, I have something great in me and I have to do something for greater good. But when I joined the program, now it became very very clear what I needed to do, the steps I needed to take, who I needed to become, you know. So joining Lapid really helped me to just stir up and believe that I could do something with my life, and I just love how practical it is. Like, it's not just, yeah, you're great. It's not just another motivational speech, but it's very concise.
So that's something then to look for in whoever is mentoring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether through a program or just through an individual.
That's important.
That is not just saying, you know, I believe in you.
Yeah.
You're going to be Obama one day.
That's actually very important.
It's actually that there's a practicality to it.
It is. Though, and we do that a lot of motivating, but then we leave people hanging. You are left with, I can do great things, but what does it take for me to do great things?
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying in terms of get a mentor who is not even going, and most time we also look for people who will make us feel good. But that's not what you need. You need actually a tough hand that helps you see not just that you're great, but that it would be a waste for you not to do 1, 2, 3 with the idea.
Okay. Excellent, ladies. Well, we're going to continue this conversation in just a bit. But for now, we want to take a short break. But as we do, guys, do send in your feedback. The SMS line is 22999. You can also reach us on social media, #FullCircleWithJoyce. On Facebook, the page is @SwitchTV Kenya. Let me know, who are the change makers that you look up to in your life. What is it that you're looking for in a mentor beyond this, the nice fluff? What exactly are you looking for in a mentor? Do let me know. 22999. I'll be reviewing and reading out some of your feedback when we come back from this short break. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. We're continuing our discussions this morning as we focus in on personal development. Specifically, we're talking about change makers. And still on the show with me, I have Esther Moniki, the founder of Lapid Leaders Africa. But I know, Italiano, it can mess us up.
It is a tongue
Rapid readers.
I know.
And we also have Jassy Mugisha, who's the co-founder of Ride Safe. I got it right this time. Welcome back to the show, ladies. Now, so just before the break, we were talking about mentorship and how that's important, even when someone is sort of trying to figure out their idea or figure out the thing that they want to jump in. But I think another big element is really, there's a lot of us who I think have this sense of social responsibility, but they don't really know where to plug it in, right? So, I feel like I want to be a good person, I want to improve the world, but I don't know, I'm not an entrepreneur, so I don't know how to go about it. So speak to those who are watching and they're like, I feel like I can do something, but I don't know how. How do you sort of discover opportunity, and then how do you find the courage or how do you make that step forward in terms of initiative?
So that sounds like me, because my background is very corporate. I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur ever. And the people who grow up thinking, when I grow up, I want to become an entrepreneur, I always thought that's a hard world. I like corporate space. I like salary. I like structured. But I think one of the things I would speak to that person who is not into entrepreneurship, one of the things that I did is I served in church a lot, for example. I believe the change making, because the other question is always the world has 100 problems, and I think that's a gift that Africa has. The question is, which one problem do you want to solve? And I think what serving does, go work under other people. I mean, for example, you can be in corporate space 8 to 5. Over the weekends, ask which organizations can I go and volunteer in. As you do that, there's something that awakens in you that just says, no, I will not do this as a by the way. I want to do this on a more full-time basis. So for me, that's what I did.
Okay.
Corporate, but also then on the side, I was volunteering in spaces that just awakened for me the need. And I could see that we need to raise leaders, but I kept thinking the work of building such an initiative would be such a heavy job. But once you've volunteered under other people, you start to see it's doable. And what other people are doing is not something that's based on some extreme abilities. So it starts somewhere. Ask, where can I go as I work, not even living my life? How can I go and volunteer under other people who are doing what I'm passionate about? I volunteered with an organization that was running discipleship programs in prison. And for me, that kept awakening the need to be involved in societal kind of changing in the forefront. And for years, actually, that was enough in terms of volunteering. And for some people, that's enough. I guess the point around change making is not necessarily that you must go and start a business. It's that you must do something in one way or another.
All right. Let me read some of the feedback that we have coming in. Again, shout out to all of you who are engaging with us. 22999 is the SMS line. You can also comment on our Facebook post that's on the page at Switch TV Kenya. Now on SMS, good morning, Joyce. I recently completed my university, and after that, I don't know what next. I feel lost. I have nobody to help me through this feeling. Someone else says, good morning, Joyce. This is Mary Mungai from Gashie, switching for good. I love your shows. They inspire me so much. I do learn a lot. Thank you very much for that. Joyce, thanks for the new talk. I just want to relax and follow up. Always my best show. Thank you very much. What would you say, Esther, to this person here who has completed university, really has no clue of where to go next, which is actually, a persona of a lot of youth right here in Kenya. Oftentimes they've even been, they've been studying something that they were told they should just study or whatever they qualified for. What would you sort of advise someone like that?
I think the first thing is it's okay not to know. I think there's so much pressure among the young people to have their lives figured out and figure it out yesterday. Also, almost like we are saying you're 90 and you only have 2 years to go. You're in your mid-20s. You have 70 years ahead of you. Please relax. And I say that because I meet a lot of young people and I can see the pressure that they are under to just make sure that their lives are okay. The truth of the matter is we also don't know what most of us, they're 50s, 60s. We are living one day at a time. So I think the thing I'd tell that person, imagine it's okay not to know what your next steps are, and that applies to anybody who's finished campus. But then the second part is to ask, what are the things that you're interested in and how can you start to build on them, even if it's on voluntary basis? And how can you look for mentors that you can work with to help you figure out, because often even you don't even know what you're interested in. Because what has happened is many of us are called to a course by joint admission boards. And you go and you do the 4 years and then you finish and you think, can somebody tell me what I'm supposed to do next? Which is around personal agency, because we've gotten used to people telling us what we should do with our lives. So look for mentors who will help you get to hear your own voice.
Let me read some feedback here on Facebook. Amara Henry says, wow, great ladies. Thanks for the inspirational show. Watching on Zuku, live from Uganda. Hey, Banange, my friend. Welcome. So glad to have you as part of the family. Liam Hesborn, I admire mentors. I normally see them as mentality monsters. They've got the never say never attitude, hoping one day I'd be able to have such resilient mentality. All right. Shady Mungo, you say, actually, most of us, we found ourselves in the wrong direction because we don't have mentorship and we don't have a coach. Stanley Kamau, you say, I think to make change, you just need to do a unique thing, but the society is always looking to the negative side. How can one deal with this? You're watching us from Kitengela. Asante sana, guys, there for your feedback. You can keep it coming. 22999 is the SMS line, and you can also reach us on our Facebook page. That's at Switch TV Kenya. Now, Jassy, let me ask you, how do you then identify allies as you go about the initiative that you've started? And also, how do you deal with the ups and downs? Because now Esther is here, she's told you, you are a star, you can change the world.
Yes.
Then you get out into the marketplace and you realize things are thick, life is hard. How do you deal with the ups and the downs that find us everywhere in life? And what is the role of finding allies and supporting you in that journey?
Okay, first and foremost, how do you find allies? Always make friends and always continuously be increasing your networks, and talk to people, like make friends, just connect with people in the various stages they are in life, or even if they're so different from you. Like for me, okay, we were working at a health center, but now we have lots of guys who are border friends, like rider friends. So usually Kitambu, we used to just we'll just pass by them, or you just take a bike and it just ends there. But now it's like we have conversations and but honestly, I don't think it would have been that easy if these guys weren't our friends to start with, because when we got the idea, obviously we went to our friends at this stage, and they knew us, so we already had an entryway. Like, it wasn't so hard. They're like, Kina Nani, what are you guys doing? And we would explain, and they're like, okay. Maybe they would give us a little feedback back and forth, and then they would be like, let me introduce you to the stage manager for the other stage, and you can talk to more guys. So it begins that way. And then what was the other question?
The other question then is how you deal with the ups and the downs of business, of social entrepreneurship. Especially when especially when you've been charged and riled up and you're ready and excited. It's a leap of faith to step out. But then life also does happen.
Yes. Okay. The first thing I'd say is just focus on the vision. Like focus on why you started doing this thing. And like she said, take one day at a time. And if things are hard, you need to just stop. You know how, like, when things go wrong, we're frantically trying to run around, trying to solve the situation. But what we've learned as we've done this project is we always just stop and think, okay, so we define the problem, like this is the problem. Then we just sit back and literally have quiet time. And like we could be in a group of like 3 people in the company, and we just sit and be like, what do we think we need to do? And we just create an atmosphere where we're like, let's take away the pressure of the situation and have this problem right in the middle of the room and be like, what do we think we need to do? And people have the inspiration from various sources, and we have where we get our inspiration to get the answers for what we need. But just calm down and just think rationally about the problem, and then you will find a solution. There's always a way.
All right.
Yeah, and then begin to explore the answers or the solutions you get one by one.
Excellent. I really like that. Indeed, just take a breather, take a moment. It's okay, because also you can't make decisions when you're like super panicked. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here on the show. Thank you for your time and your insights here, guys. I hope you're certainly challenged about becoming a change maker. Again, it's not about money or power. Being a change maker is not about holding a prestigious position. It is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as a student, as someone in your neighborhood, there is something that you can do. And so hopefully with this conversation, you're supercharged to go out and do it. So asanteni sana. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about misconceptions about your identity. Do you understand who you are? Do you know who you are? Are you able to articulate that for yourself? We're going to be looking at this when we come back right here on Full Circle with Joyce.